everyone, this is Shel from Paper Rock TO Studio, and today I'm sharing with you an artist trading card that I made for a swap that's coming up at the end of November. I know it's only October, but I need to get these 3 ATCs done because in November is non-stop journaling month, and I'm going to be making an art journal page every single day and a video every single day in the month of November. So things that I have coming up need to be done early. So that's why I'm working on my trading cards this month. So the theme of the swap, and this is on a G+ community called Creating and Sharing Mixed Media Art, which I always participate in their swaps because there's a lot of great artists there. The theme is to do artist trading cards inspired by another artist. And I saw these contemporary landscapes done by an artist named Mac Stevenson when I was in the Scottsdale, Arizona Celebration of Fine Art. And yeah, they're really cool. They're different and unusual, and so I decided to try and kind of duplicate one or make something inspired by one of the landscapes. He does other art, but he does a lot of landscapes. And his palette is very muted, but yet still appeals to me. You know, I'm the super bright colors girl, but the way that he uses this more muted palette really, it gives a sense of mood and really gives an interest to his landscapes. So yeah, I'm a fan. What else can I say? Mac is from Utah, apparently. Didn't actually meet him, just saw his stuff and thought it was really cool. And then I checked out his website to see all the different works, recent ones and older ones. He sells Gisli prints and originals on a website, which is just macstevenson.com, so you can find that if you want to look at his stuff. He paints in oil on either linen or canvas, and I'm obviously here using Pan Pastels. An artist trading card is 2.5 by 3.5 inches. It's tiny, and I wasn't sure that I could even make something legible that conveys the tone and style of his work on something so tiny. So, and I certainly knew I could not do it in oil because I don't paint in oil. I have zero patience when it comes to waiting for things to dry. Oil paint, to make an oil painting, it just takes forever because you have to wait for all the different layers to dry. You know that's never going to happen. Never going to happen. I can't wait. Wait, are you kidding me? Plus, some of the stuff that you use to clean it up and the oils that you use and stuff like that smell bad. I don't like the smell. So you're not going to see me oil painting, and I can promise that. I'm never going to do it. I'm sure you really care about that, but I'm not. So what I have here is my Pan Pastels. I have purchased, well, I didn't actually purchase them. I got them as a gift for Christmas last year. The portrait set, which has 20 pans, and the painting set, which has 20 pans. And then I got these 10 pan containers and I sorted them into color families. And you can see that they're not all full, so that means that there was some duplicate colors between those two sets. There was obviously white and black was duplicated and a couple other colors. So I don't have them in the pans because what would be the point? But I don't think I need any more colors than this, and I will link these two sets in the description box below so that you can see what they are in case you want to get some. Pan Pastels are extremely soft pastel, and they are highly pigmented. Like, it just takes a teeny tiny bit to have pigment. So yeah, these will last me forever. These will last my lifetime. I'll never have to get a new one. Unless I want some more colors, which no, I don't think I do. I mean, maybe someday. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe they'll come out with super bright neons or something. I don't know. It could happen. So I am actually looking at one of his paintings as I'm doing this. You know, when you're copying something or you're making something inspired by, you are learning. You are learning the way that another artist who's mastered something is doing it. And that is such a good way of learning. So I'm very interested in doing this, and I belong to a Facebook group called Studio ABC, and Linda Ann Smith, who is the originator of that group, used to be a teacher. She's retired. She's a retired art teacher. So she posts a lot of challenges and things where she's talking about different artists, and I'm really interested in looking at some of these artists that I haven't heard of and trying out their styles, because I really think that when you are imitating someone else, you are developing your skills, which will eventually develop into your own style. So that is one of the reasons that I do YouTube. Um, I don't know if you call this a how-to or tutorial or whatever. I'm not exactly teaching anybody anything, but I'm showing my process of learning, and I'm showing my process of what I do, which will hopefully, although I don't consider myself a professional at all. I don't at all, trust me. I'm just on my art journey and learning, just learning. But as I learn, I'm trying to share the process with other people who might want to start doing something creative, because I think that when we all are making beautiful things, or even things that are not beautiful but are striking or are showing our point of view about how we see the world, because art is really a lot about how you see, how your brain looks at things and sees and interprets what they are. And so when you do art, you are trying to share your vision of how you see something, which is definitely going to be different than everyone else's, because we're all unique and we all have our own brain. So that's what I'm trying to do. So part of this journey that I'm on is to do what other people are doing, try to do what other people are doing, try to take something that I think is beautiful and make something with my hands that is similar, and in that way I learn. So I think that, I mean, I've done some other copying or duplicating or inspired by other artists. Haven't done very much of it, but I've done a few, and people are like, "Oh, I prefer you did your own thing." And I'm thinking, well, yeah, I am doing my own thing. I'm trying to learn, trying to learn. So that's the reason that I'm doing this. And of course, I'm going to be learning from people that I like, or art that I like, that appeals to me. So in this case, Mac Stevenson, who was a teacher for 30 years and is now, you know, he worked at a couple different universities and stuff. He has his master's degree in fine art. And so I consider him someone that I could learn something from. So I hope that wasn't a long, rambling, confusing explanation, but I'm just trying to express myself. It's so hard. Sometimes it's so hard. So this piece has either a sunrise or a sunset through clouds, and then it has this water. And the hardest thing for me to do on this, as I went through it, was to try to make the water look like water. There's a real trick to that, and I'm not sure that I have mastered it. A real trick. But I think it looks pretty good in the end. I will consider this mixed media because, well, that's what I do. And I used Pan Pastels, and then I used pastel pencils, and then I also used a white Posca pen and a black Posca pen. So that's mixing up media. And I am using 140-pound cold pressed watercolor paper cut into the size. I do end up trimming it just a teeny tiny bit and then mounting it onto a dark brown layer so that it had like a little frame around the edge at the end. And I still have 2 more artist inspired ATCs to do. So I will be showing them as I do them when I I'm going to try to find a collage artist that I really like. I don't really, besides Elizabeth, Elizabeth Nielsen. I can't remember her name right now, but I really like her paper painting. Um, you could say that my whole style is kind of when you see me doing paper painting and collaging like that, making pictures out of little pieces of paper, that's really inspired by her and a couple other people. Well, I saw somebody up in Sedona that was doing it, and she's from Phoenix. And that's when I said, hey, I want to do that. And I do that a lot. And when I do sell something, that's usually what it is a paper painted collage type thing. So I'm collage is my number one love, and so I'll probably try to duplicate a collage artist. I'll find one that I like and try to learn something from them. And then I'm not sure about the third ATC, what I'm going to do. I don't know. Maybe abstract, because I'm kind of really fascinated by abstract right now. Like, make abstract should be easy, right? It's not easy. To be actually abstract is very difficult, strangely. Okay, so I've put away the Pan Pastels, and I did spray with some Spectra Fix, which is a workable fixative that's non-toxic and it's not smelly. And it's not aerosol, so you can spray it in your studio, which I really like. Sprayed that so that the stuff that I did do kind of stays. And then now I'm doing some more pastel work with these pencils that I hardly ever use. Like, I never get these things out because I don't know what to do with them. But in this application, it works really great because they're smaller and more pointy than the tools that I have. The soft tools is what they're called, those sponge-like things that I have for the pastels. The smallest one that I have is that pointy one, and I don't think that it's really that small. So when you're doing something as tiny as an ATC, the pencils work great. So I'm adding more definition and more color in places with more precision with the pencils just to finish up my piece. And I am actually very happy with the way it turned out. I think it reflects that I was imitating a style, but it turned into something that was more mine. And yeah, I had a good time doing this, so I'm happy. I have no idea who my swap partner even is, but I'll find out by the end of November. And you guys are going to be seeing a lot of videos from me in November, as well as my three friends, Peg, Sherry, and Lizzie Beth. We're doing what we did last year, which is we've made up our own list of prompts, and we're going to do a page and video every day in the month of November for Non-Stop Journaling Month, which is a challenge that you can find on Facebook or around. It's I don't remember at the moment whose challenge it is, but it's one of those ones that a lot of people do. So that'll be fun. So I think my water's starting to shape up now. It's looking like it has some reflections of the sky in it and some reflection of the grassland. I think that Mac, his landscapes are showing Utah. Utah is a beautiful state. I mean, obviously Arizona is the most beautiful, but there's a lot of really great stuff in Utah, like Zion National Park and Bryce Canyon National Park, which is amazing red sandstone carvy looking cliffs. Arches, oh my gosh, Arches is so cool. National Monument, I think it is. That's a really cool place. It's almost like you're on another planet when you go to Arches. I love that place. So Utah has some beautiful landscapes, and I think that this kind of a ochre colored tundra with interesting sunsets that Mac Stevenson does are probably reflecting where he lives in Utah. It's kind of cool. Kind of really cool. So I hope you go and check him out. I personally can't afford to buy anything from him. But I am learning by duplicating or attempting to duplicate some of what he did with this contemporary landscape. So now I'm just adding some details to this little stand of, I'm guessing they're maybe tamarack pines. They look like the tall, thin tamarack pine that I have seen in places, mostly Oregon, but I'm sure that Utah has them too. They're kind of the focal point of the whole piece. The teeny tiny little piece. If you're using pastels, I wonder if you still call it a painting. Is this a painting? I don't know. I honestly don't know. A pastel painting. A painting with pastels. I don't know. But I'm sure one of you will tell me. Whenever I ask a random question that I don't know the answer to when I'm doing a voiceover on a video, someone always answers me. You people are really good with Google. And of course, I'm doing the voiceover right now, so I can't answer my own question because I can't Google while I'm voiceovering. Yeah, that's a thing. At some point here, I think at this point, I think I'm done, kind of. Maybe just a little bit here, a little bit there, pump up a little bit, few things. But then I realize, it's got to be coming up soon, I realize that there's no reflection of the trees. The big stand of trees. There we go. Just realized it. No, I didn't. No, I'm still putting pink and orange in the yeah. I'm like, duh. There's no reflection in the water of the trees. That's like completely impossible, you idiot. And so I put them in. Can't see the forest for the trees. Can't see the reflection of the trees. Yeah. I'm glad I figured that out. I would have felt pretty stupid. Oh, here we go. Yeah, look. Reflections of the trees in the water, you idiot. Yeah. I can laugh at myself. I hope the rest of you can laugh at me. There we go. That's better. That's better. And then I go ahead and put a few highlights in, super bright highlights with white Posca pen. And then I go over it with the blue to kind of give them a pop. Because they needed it. I can't, that's one thing that I struggle with in both pastels and watercolors is leaving the white where the white needs to be. Leaving the white highlight instead of covering it up with color, because then I have to go back in and put it back. And I continuously make that mistake. Also with the pastels and the little, teeny tiny little thing with these big brush tools, it's really hard to leave any color left. So if you've enjoyed this video, of course, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment so I know that you were here. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share if you want to. These things help YouTube understand that I'm making something that someone values, and they will recommend it to someone else who hasn't found me, and that's how my channel grows. And then when my channel grows, I feel more inclined to make more videos, and so on and so forth. It is a revolving cycle. So those little tiny things that you can do really make a difference. So please, if you can, go do that. And I believe that I'm about done. So that's it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye.